Hello and welcome. We are proudly present compound interest and annuity for business mathematics course. We are the student from group 1 of the class M1 DPA 3 2026, a diploma of public administration at University Technology Mara campus, Bandaraya Melaka. Here are the group members. Siti Nomala Musa, Siti Saada Jumari, Marsita Amiruddin, and myself, Fazrin Azra Muhammad Azaha. Compound interest. The introduction. What is compound interest? Compound interest is the method of calculating interest of both the initial principal and the accumulated interest from previous periods. Unlike simple interest, where growth is linear, whereas this compound interest creates an exponential growth curve, making it a foundational concept for both investing profits and loan costs.
Compound interest question 1. Julia wants to buy high-performance laptop for her graphic design business that costs 6,000. She currently has 5,200 in her savings. She is comparing these two options. Option A. Consider purchasing the laptop right away by securing a personal loan of 800 at an 8% interest rate, compounded annually for a duration of 1.5 years. Option B. Wait for 1.5 years, keeping her 5,200 in a fixed deposit account, earning 5% interest compounded quarterly. She will buy the laptop later using only these savings. So based on the two options above, determine which option will be more financially wise for Julia. Compound interest answer 1. To determine the more financially wise option, we compare option A and option B. Option A, Julia take a loan of 800 at an interest rate of 8% per annum for 1.5 years. Using the compound interest formula, the accumulated amount is 897 and 90 cents. Therefore, the interest paid is 97 and 90 cents. Option B, Julia deposit her 5,200 savings in a fixed deposit account, earning 5% interest compounded quarterly for 1.5 years. Using the compound interest formula, the accumulated amount is 5,602 ringgit and 39 cents. However, the laptop cost is 6,000, so she is still short by 397 and 91 cents. Therefore, Julia should choose option A because she can purchase the laptop immediately, while option B still does not provide enough money to buy the laptop after 1.5 years.
Compound interest question 2. Harzana is preparing for her child's university education. She estimates that 50,000 will be required in 10 years for tuition fees, along with an additional Rm 10,000 as an emergency fund. To achieve these goals, she deposits RMX today into a savings account that earns 6% interest compounded quarterly. Determine the value of X. Therefore, we compute all the variables into the formula just now. Rm 60,000 equals P, open parenthesis, 1 plus 0.015, close parenthesis, with the power of 4t. This brings P equals to RM 33,075 ringgit and 74 cent, which means X is RM 33,075 ringgit and 74 cent.
Compound interest questions 3. Ikmal is planning to renovate his home in the future. He deposits RM 10,000 into a savings plan that earns 4.5% interest compounded monthly. 3 years later, he encounters unexpected expenses and withdraws RM 900 from the account. The remaining balance continues to grow at the same interest rate for another 5 years. Compound interest questions 3A. Calculate the accumulated amount in Ikmal's savings account at the end of his savings period. Find S of the first investment period, deduct withdrawal amount, then with this new amount, find S of the second investment period. Compound interest, answer for 3A. First investment period, 3 years. S equal to 10,000. 1 plus 0.00375 equal to 11,442.48. After withdrawal RM 900, which is RM 11,442.48 minus RM 900 equal to RM 10,542 and 48 cents. Second investment period, which is 5 years. S equal to RM 10,542 ringgit and 48 cents. Equal to RM 13,197 and 3 cents. Therefore, the accumulated amount is RM 13,197 ringgit and 3 cents. Compound interest questions 3B. Determine the total interest earned by the end of his savings period. I equal to S minus P. Compound interest, answer 3B. Interest equal to I equal to S minus P, which is I equal to S minus P equal to RM 13,197 ringgit and 3 cents minus RM 10,000. The balance is RM 3,197 ringgit and 3 cents. Important note, RM 900 withdrawal during investment period. RM 3,197 ringgit and 3 cents plus RM 900 equal to RM 4,097 ringgit and 3 cents. Therefore, the total interest earned is RM 4,097 ringgit and 3 cents. Compound interest question 3C. Based on your results, evaluate whether Ikmal will have at least RM 13,000 available for his home renovation. Give reason. The answer is compare the accumulated amount he has at the end of savings period with the required cost of renovation. Answer 3C. Yes, Ikmal will have at least Rm 13,000 available for his house renovation. This because the accumulated amount in Ikmal's savings account at the end of his savings period is Rm 13,197 ringgit and 3 cents, which exceeds the renovation cost by Rm 100 ringgit and 97 and 3 cents. Therefore, his saving plan is sufficient for his renovation goal.
Annuity. Introduction. What is annuity? To explain annuity in the simplest way is like this. Think of it as making the same payment regularly over a period of time. Instead of putting in one big lump sum, you keep paying in cases of loans or receiving in cases of investment the same amount at regular intervals.
Annuity question 1. Datin Nurhaliza left an inheritance of 3 million ringgit which was split 7-2-1 between Datin Nurhaliza and her two cousins, Nur Saida and Saira. Datin Nurhaliza utilized her whole stake as the down payment for an 6 million ringgit manufacturing facility. She then took out a loan to pay the remaining sum. The loan duration is 35 years with an annual interest rate of 3.6% compounded annually. Now I will explain the note for question number 1. The total inheritance is 3 million ringgit. It is divided into the ratio 7-2-1. So we add 7 plus 2 plus 1 equals 10 parts in total. So we calculate 7 divided by 10 times 3 million ringgit. The answer is 2.1 million ringgit. The manufacturing facility costs 6 million ringgit. She already has 2.1 million ringgit from the inheritance. So the loan she needs is 6 million ringgit minus 2.1 million ringgit. The total loan is 3.9 million ringgit. The loan term is 35 years. The annual interest rate is 3.6% and interest is compounded monthly, meaning there are 12 compounding periods per year. To find the periodic interest rate, we divide the annual rate by the number of compounding periods. I equals K divided M equals 3.6% divided 12 equals 0.3% per month or 0.003 in decimal form. Next, we calculate the total number of payments period. Using the formula N equals M multiplied T, we multiply 12 months per year by 35 years. N equals 12 multiplied 35 equals 420 periods. Therefore, the monthly interest rate is 0.003 and the loan will have a total of 420 monthly payment periods. Now let's calculate the monthly payment represented by R. Since this is a loan case, so the formula we must use is as follows. We substitute the value into the loan payment formula. A equals R times the quantity 1 minus open parenthesis 1 plus I close parenthesis raised to the power of negative n divided by I. Substituting this value, we get 3.9 million ringgit equals R multiplied by the quantity 1 minus open parenthesis 1 plus 0.003 close parenthesis raised to the power of negative 420 all divided by 0.003. After simplifying and solving the equation, we obtain R equals 6,345 ringgit and 11 cents. Therefore, Datuk Nurhaliza needs to pay 6,345 ringgit and 11 cents every month to pay for the loan over the 35-year period. This monthly payment includes both the principal amount borrowed and the interest charged by the lender. Now, let's calculate the interest charge. Again, this is a loan case, so the formula we must use is I equals NR minus A. Now we calculate the total interest charged on the loan using the interest formula. The total number of payments n is determined by multiplying m, the number of payments per year, by t, the loan terms in years, which equals 420. The monthly payment r is 16,345 ringgit and 11 cent, and the original loan amount a is 3,900,000 ringgit. Substituting these values into the interest formula, where I equals open parenthesis m multiplied by t close parenthesis multiplied by r minus a, we get I equals open parenthesis 420 multiplied by 16,345 ringgit and 11 cent close parenthesis minus 3,900,000 ringgit. After simplifying and solving the equation, we obtain I equals 2,964,946 ringgit and 20 cent. Therefore, Datuk Nurhaliza will be charged a total interest of 2,964,946 ringgit and 20 cent over the loan period. Question 1C. If she fails to pay the first 6 monthly payments, find the amount she has to pay on the 7th payment in order to settle the outstanding arrears. Find S sub 7. The monthly payment R remains 16,345 ringgit and 11 cent. The monthly interest rate I is 0.003 and the total number of periods to accumulate N is 7. Substituting these values into the future value of an annuity formula, we get S sub 7 equals 16,345 ringgit and 11 cent multiplied by the quantity open parenthesis 1 plus 0.003 close parenthesis raised to the power of 7 minus 1, all divided by 0.003. After simplifying and solving the equation, we obtain S sub 7 equals 115,450 ringgit and 70 cent. Therefore, Datuk Nurhaliza needs to pay 115,450 ringgit and 70 cent on the 7th month in order to completely settle her pending payment. Question 1D. Immediately after paying for 25 years, she decided to settle the balance of the loan. Find the settlement amount. Find A subs 120. To find the remaining number of payments, and we multiply M, which is 12, by T, the remaining terms of 10 years, giving us a total of 120 payments. The monthly payment R remains 16,345 ringgit and 11 cent, and the monthly interest rate I is 0.003. Substituting these values into the present value formula, we get A sub 120 equals 16,345 ringgit and 11 cent multiplied by the quantity 100 minus open parenthesis 1 plus 0.003 close parenthesis raised to the power of negative 120, all divided by 0.003. After simplifying and solving the equation, we obtain A sub 120 equals 1,645,122 ringgit and 13 cent. Therefore, the sum of payment to settle the remaining loan is 1,645,122 ringgit and 13 cent.
Annuity. Question 2. A catering company bought a commercial oven for Rm 85,000. They plan to settle the debt by making monthly installments of Rm 1,800. If the bank charges an interest rate of 12% compounded monthly, find the total number of years for which the company must make payments to settle the balance in full. Let's find T by computing all the variables in the formula we adopted. It brings us to the value of N, 64.8 to 3 months, while n equals to m times t. So we compute the figures and it brings us t equals to 5.35 years. Therefore, around 5 years and 4 months for the company to fully settle the balance. Thank you for watching.